You're watching Eternal Questions, a DAV 3D production.
Sartre's coffee trembled. Across the table, Camus leaned forward. Is life inherently meaningless, he challenged, or do we create meaning through rebellion? Sartre's cigarette burned between his fingers. Existence precedes essence. We are condemned to freedom, forced to construct our own purpose. Camus smiled darkly. So we must imagine Sisyphus happy, pushing his boulder against absurdity's indifferent sky? Their eyes locked. The philosophical battlefield crackled with unspoken understanding. In a dimly lit cafe, Sartre and Camus face off over a chessboard. Each move symbolizes their philosophical battle, existence versus meaning. Sartre slides a knight, declaring humans create purpose through choice. Camus counters, positioning a bishop. Life's inherent absurdity demands we forge meaning, despite cosmic indifference. Their game intensifies, philosophical weapons disguised as chess pieces. Tension builds. One final move will determine whether human agency triumphs or meaninglessness prevails. The cafe holds its breath. Two shadows face off in a dimly lit room. Sartre leans forward, challenging Camus. Can meaning emerge from absurdity? His cigarette burns, casting sharp lines across their tension. Camus responds, eyes gleaming with defiance. We must imagine Sisyphus, happy, creating purpose in a meaningless universe. Their debate pulses with electricity. Each word becomes a weapon, each argument a declaration of human resilience against cosmic indifference. In this moment, philosophy transforms from abstract theory to raw, living truth. Sartre sits across from Camus, chess pieces poised between them. Existence precedes essence, Sartre declares, moving a pawn. Camus counters, but meaning emerges through rebellion. Their game becomes a battlefield of ideas. Each move challenges fundamental human questions. Are we defined by our choices or trapped by circumstances? The pawns slide forward, representing individual struggles against an indifferent universe. Checkmate reveals more than victory. It exposes the profound human desire to create purpose in an absurd world. Sartre and Camus faced each other across a chessboard, their philosophical battle raging silently. Every move symbolized their fundamental disagreement: life inherently meaningless. Or can we create meaning through rebellion? Sartre's knight slid forward, representing radical freedom. Camus countered, his pawn suggesting we must imagine Sisyphus happy. Their intense gazes locked. One move would decide everything: surrender to absurdity or heroically construct purpose. The cafe's dim light cast sharp shadows. Checkmate would mean philosophical victory. Sartre sits across from Camus, chess pieces poised between them. Existence precedes essence, Sartre declares, moving a pawn. Camus counters, but meaning emerges through rebellion. Their game becomes a battlefield of ideas, each move challenging fundamental human questions. One creates purpose through action. The other finds significance in resistance. The chessboard transforms into a philosophical arena where free will battles predetermined fate. Their intellectual duel revealing the complex landscape of human consciousness and choice. In a dimly lit cafe, Sartre and Camus locked eyes across a chessboard. Each move represented a philosophical stance versus meaning. Sartre advanced a pawn, declaring, "We create ourselves through choice." Camus countered, sliding his knight, but life remains fundamentally absurd. Their game intensified, pieces dancing between free will and predetermined chaos. Each strategic placement challenged human agency, revealing how philosophical battles are fought not with words, but silent, calculated movements that expose the deepest human uncertainties. In a dimly lit cafe, Sartre and Camus face off over a chessboard. Each move symbolizes their philosophical clash versus meaning. Sartre slides his knight, declaring human freedom as absolute choice. Camus counters, positioning his rook to argue that life's absurdity demands we create purpose despite meaninglessness. Their game intensifies, pieces dancing across the board like competing ideas. Suddenly, Camus checkmates Sartre. Meaning emerges not from grand theories, he whispers, but from rebellion against the void. In a dimly lit Parisian cafe, Sartre and Camus faced off over a chessboard. Existence precedes essence, Sartre declared, moving his knight. Camus countered, but meaning emerges through rebellion. Each move symbolized their philosophical dance, free will versus absurdist struggle. The pieces clashed, representing humanity's eternal battle between predetermined fate and radical choice. Outside, rain blurred the boundary between reality and perception, echoing their intellectual duel. Checkmate was more than a game. It was a profound statement about human agency. The chessboard trembled between Sartre and Camus. Each move challenged existence itself. Choice defines us, Sartre declared, sliding his knight. Camus countered. Meaning emerges through rebellion against absurdity. Their fingers danced across black and white squares, philosophers wrestling with humanity's deepest questions. Outside, Paris rain blurred reality's edges. One move could shatter illusions, revealing life's fundamental uncertainty. Their game became a battlefield of consciousness, where every strategic placement challenged the very nature of human freedom and purpose. In a dimly lit cafe, Sartre and Camus hunched over a chessboard, their game mirroring their philosophical duel. Each move challenged existence itself. Sartre pushed upon, we create meaning through choice. Camus slid his knight, life remains fundamentally absurd. Their eyes locked, fingers hovering over pieces representing human struggle. Tension crackled between belief and nihilism. One final move would determine whether meaning emerges from rebellion or dissolves into cosmic indifference. The room held its breath. Two chess pieces stand frozen mid-game. Sartre leans forward, declaring existence precedes essence. We create ourselves through choices, he argues. Camus counters, but the absurdity of life means our actions are ultimately meaningless. Their fingers hover over pawns, metaphors for human agency. Each move represents a philosophical stance versus predetermined fate. The game continues, silent witnesses to humanity's eternal struggle between control and chaos. Two philosophers sit across a chessboard, minds locked in silent combat. Sartre moves his knight, challenging Camus' existence, inherently meaningless. Camus slides a pawn, countering, or do we create meaning through rebellion? Each move represents a philosophical thrust. Their game becomes a metaphor for human struggle, strategic, intentional, wrestling with purpose. Outside the cafe window, rain blurs reality. Their hands touch pieces, constructing arguments more complex than any game. Checkmate reveals not victory, but deeper questions. In a dimly lit cafe, Sartre and Camus face off over a chessboard. Each move symbolizes their philosophical battle versus meaning. Sartre slides a pawn, arguing we create our purpose through radical freedom. Camus counters, positioning his knight to represent life's inherent absurdity. Their eyes lock, intellectual warriors, wrestling with humanity's deepest questions. The chess pieces dance between choice and chaos, determinism and rebellion. One final move will reveal whether meaning emerges from our actions or remains eternally elusive. Two philosophers sit across a chessboard, minds colliding. Sartre moves a pawn, existence precedes essence. We create ourselves through choices. Camus counters, sliding his bishop. But absurdity surrounds us. Meaning emerges from rebellion against meaninglessness. Each move challenges reality's fundamental nature. Their game becomes a metaphor. Philosophy isn't about winning, but wrestling with fundamental questions. The board reflects human consciousness, complex, uncertain, continuously reshaping itself through confrontation and understanding. Sartre and Camus sit across a chessboard, cigarettes smoldering. Free will isn't choosing, Sartre declares, moving a knight. It's confronting the weight of absolute responsibility. Camus counters, sliding the bishop, absurdity. Each move symbolizes philosophical tension. The game intensifies, pawns fall, strategies clash. Their cigarette smoke swirls like unresolved arguments. Who controls destiny, individual choice, or cosmic indifference? Neither wins. The philosophical battle continues, unresolved, eternal. In a dusty Parisian cafe, Sartre and Camus hunched over a chessboard, their cigarettes burning, forgotten. Each move symbolized their philosophical battle, existence versus meaning. Sartre slides a knight, declaring human freedom as infinite possibility. Camus counters, positioning a pawn to represent life's inherent absurdity. Their eyes lock, two intellectual gladiators wrestling with humanity's deepest questions. One game, two perspectives, radical choice or accepting meaninglessness. The cafe's silence amplifies their silent war, each move a philosophical statement carved into reality's fragile membrane. Sartre and Camus sat across a chessboard, tension crackling between them. Free will versus absurdity, their philosophies colliding like battling kings. Sartre moved a pawn create meaning through choices. Camus countered, sliding his bishop precedes essence, life remains fundamentally meaningless. Each move challenged human agency, revealing deeper questions about consciousness. Their game became a metaphor, strategy against randomness, intention against chaos. Who truly controls our narrative? Individual will or cosmic indifference? The final checkmate would reveal everything. In a dimly lit cafe, Sartre and Camus faced off over a chessboard. Each move mirrored their philosophical battle, existence versus meaning. Sartre's hand hovered, fingers trembling. We create ourselves through choice, he argued, sliding a knight. Camus countered, but meaning emerges from absurd struggle. The pieces danced, black and white, possibility and limitation. Outside, rain blurred reality. Their final moves would determine more than victory, would reveal humanity's deepest struggle between freedom and purpose. In a dimly lit cafe, Sartre and Camus hunched over a chessboard, their unspoken battle of ideas transforming each move. Sartre's knight pierced Camus's defenses. Existence precedes essence. We create meaning through choice. Camus countered, sliding a pawn. But meaning emerges through rebellion against absurdity. Their fingers touched pieces laden with philosophical weight. Outside, rain blurred reality's edges. One final move would settle their lifelong intellectual duel, a moment where philosophy became more than abstract thought, but a visceral confrontation of human understanding. In a dimly lit cafe, Sartre and Camus faced each other across a chessboard. Each move symbolized their philosophical duel, free will versus absurdity. Sartre's knight advanced, representing human agency. Camus countered with a pawn, signaling life's inherent meaninglessness. Their gazes locked, intense and unblinking. One believed we create our essence through choices. The other saw existence as fundamentally random. With a final, decisive move, Sartre checkmated Camus. Yet both understood real victory wasn't winning, but engaging the eternal human struggle to understand our existence. Sartre and Camus sat across from each other, chess pieces poised like philosophical weapons. Existence precedes essence, Sartre declared, moving a pawn. Camus countered. Meaning is created through rebellion, not predetermined fate. Their game mirrored deeper conflict. Is human life a random accident or a canvas for personal meaning? Each move challenged fundamental questions of free will, purpose, and the individual's power to define their own narrative in an absurd, indifferent universe. Checkmate revealed more than victory. In a dimly lit cafe, Sartre and Camus hunched over a chessboard, their unspoken battle reflecting existential warfare. Each move symbolized philosophical resistance, Sartre sliding a pawn, declaring human existence precedes essence. Camus countered, positioning his knight, arguing meaning emerges through rebellion against life's inherent absurdity. Their silent confrontation revealed profound truth isn't academic debate, but live struggle. One final calculated move would determine not just chess victory, but the very landscape of human understanding. Freedom terrifies us. Sartre sits across from Camus, their chess pieces scattered like philosophical fragments. Each move challenges human agency, choice and illusion, or our ultimate power. Sartre argues we're condemned to freedom, every decision creating our essence. Camus counters in an absurd universe where meaning emerges through rebellion. Their game continues, silence punctuated by sliding pawns. Who controls destiny? Neither philosopher knows. The chessboard becomes a battlefield of human consciousness. Two philosophers sit across a chessboard. Sartre moves a pawn, challenging Camus' freedom creating meaning in an absurd universe. Camus slides his knight, countering, or is meaning itself an illusion we desperately construct? Their game becomes a metaphor, each move a philosophical argument, each captured piece representing another belief destroyed. Silence grows heavy. Outside, war rages. Inside, two minds battle deeper human existence. A deliberate choice or a cosmic accident. Checkmate reveals everything and nothing. In a dimly lit cafe, Sartre and Camus face off over a chessboard. Each move represents a philosophical stance. Sartre's existential move proclaims we create meaning through choice. Camus counters, sliding a piece, arguing life's inherent absurdity demands rebellion. Their game intensifies. Pawns fall, metaphors clash. A nearby patron watches, mesmerized by their intellectual duel. Suddenly, Sartre checkmates Camus. "We are our choices," he declares. Camus smiles, acknowledging the profound truth hidden within their strategic dance. Here's a story exploring the philosophical complexity of free will in exactly 90 words. The chessboard trembled between Sartre and Spinoza. Their fingers hovered over pieces that seemed to move themselves. "Our actions are predetermined," Spinoza argued. "Every choice is a result of prior causes, like a complex mathematical equation." Sartre leaned forward, eyes blazing. "No, we are condemned to be free. Each moment we choose, we create ourselves." A pawn slid forward. Was it by choice or inevitability? Neither philosopher could tell. The chess pieces continued their silent dance, mocking the very notion of human agency. Free will haunts humanity. Two philosophers clash in a dimly lit cafe. Sartre declares create meaning through radical choice. Every moment births freedom. No predetermined path exists. Across the table, Spinoza counters action, follows inevitable causality, like mathematical precision. Our sense of choice, a beautiful illusion. Their eyes lock. One sees infinite possibility. The other sees cosmic determinism. Who decides? Neither. Both. The universe watches, indifferent. Two philosophers clash. Existence precedes essence, while Kierkegaard argues essence defines existence. Their chessboard becomes a battlefield of ideas. Each move symbolizes philosophical struggle. Sartre slides a pawn, declaring humans create meaning through choices. Kierkegaard counters, positioning his knight to represent divine purpose. Their minds dance between free will and predetermined destiny, transforming an ordinary game into a profound meditation on human consciousness and freedom. Two philosophers' face-off match becomes a battlefield of ideas. Each move symbolizes a philosophical stance. Sartre sliding a pawn represents human freedom. Kierkegaard's calculated knight suggests predetermined meaning. Their eyes lock, intensity crackling between intellectual titans. One will triumph, not through checkmate, but by revealing humanity's deepest existential truth. The room vibrates with unspoken questions. We architects of our destiny or prisoners of predetermined meaning? Two philosophers, Sartre and Heidegger, locked eyes across a dimly lit Paris cafe. Existence precedes essence, Sartre declared, cigarette dangling. We create ourselves through choices. Heidegger leaned forward, shadow crossing his face. No, he countered. Authenticity emerges from understanding our fundamental being in the world. Their words danced like chess pieces, challenging reality's deepest assumptions. Each sentence, a move. Each argument, a potential checkmate in humanity's eternal philosophical struggle. Are you truly free, or is something else pulling your strings? The answer might shake up how you see yourself. So imagine you're on a train, racing through the darkness. Sartre says you're in total control, choosing your path with every moment, no excuses. Yet Freud whispers that hidden forces deep inside you, old memories and impulses, decide which tracks you follow. As the train thunders along, the question is impossible to escape. Do you drive your fate? Or is your course set before you ever noticed? Suddenly, the next stop vanishes into shadow.
You're watching Eternal Questions, a DAV 3D production.